You're welcome, everyone. We're live, AK Poku. In today's live session, we're going to be discussing a very interesting topic. And so stay tuned and let's get started. Please share the video. You can share the video, share it in your WhatsApp group, on your story, on your status. Share it to somebody who lives in the United States or who even lives in Ghana, who may be planning on relocating very soon. They need to know what's going on in US immigration. And if you all can see me and hear me, please type USA or just drop USA in the comment section so that I can see that you can see me and hear me very well. Type USA or you can just use the US flag emoji. Okay, great. I see USA coming in from Instagram. I'm not seeing anybody dropping USA on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm not sure if those platforms, they can hear me and they can see me very well. TikTok, drop USA if you can hear me and see me good. Just drop USA or drop the flag, the emoji of the US flag. We're going to be discussing a really important topic that you should be aware of. And so we can get started, okay? So today we're going to be discussing the budget reconciliation program, budget reconciliation and how it's going to impact US immigration. There are some numbers, fees proposals that are going to go up. The Congress House is proposing increasing filing fees for some immigration applications, and they're proposing increasing the budget for various levels of immigration enforcement. We're going to be discussing that in today's video. You want to understand what's going on so that you see how it can impact you ultimately. Okay, so I'll be sharing my screen soon, but let's get started here. So each year, the House and Senate make up Congress. They're supposed to adopt something called a budget reconciliation. A budget resolution? I'm sorry. They are supposed to adopt something called a budget resolution. What's a budget resolution? It's supposed to establish an overall budget plan for the US and set guidelines for how the US is going to spend its money and how it's going to how it's going to make money. So action for spending and revenue. And when the Congress is deciding on or developing the budget resolution, they must decide whether they're going to include something called a budget reconciliation. And if they're going to include something called a budget reconciliation, then are they going to use some directives to execute all or some changes that they want to see within the US? Okay, so each year Congress can pass. Congress is the body that is responsible for making the laws you see in the United States. They can pass a budget resolution, and that will be the guide for the US for federal spending, revenue, and something called deficit. And as part of the resolution, then they can include reconciliation instructions, and Congress will tell specific committees to change laws relating to spending, taxes, or debt so that they'll meet US budget goals in very simple terms. Now, the reason why the budget reconciliation is sometimes included in budget resolution is that Senate, okay, so Congress is made up of the House of Representatives and Senate. Senate, usually, in order for them to vote on a law, they have to have something called a simple majority. So 51 out of 100 senators have to vote to pass the law. But even though there's this simple majority law, there's something called filibuster, meaning senators can sometimes block bills from being voted upon when they decide to argue. Okay, so some senator will stand up and argue for the next 48 hours, just so that they'll stop Senate from voting on a bill. And that's called a filibuster. So the filibuster is there to stop them from voting or advancing on certain decision making. So when it comes to budget reconciliation, filibuster cannot stop a budget reconciliation. Okay, filibuster will allow a simple majority without, allowing some of the senators to argue days on end about something. And so instead of needing 60 votes in order to overcome the argument so that they can vote on laws, a reconciliation bill only needs a simple majority, meaning we just need 51 senators out of 100 to vote on the issue, and then it can progress. Okay. All right. So now let's go on to how all of this affects immigration. Normally, with the big immigration changes, we need a full law. Okay, and so we need 60 Senate votes for the US to implement laws on immigration. But through reconciliation, Congress can bring in immigration related changes only so long as they can prove that those changes will impact the US budget. So examples, if you are raising immigration application fees, revenue, oh, that's revenue, right? So if you say that currently, if you are applying for asylum, you don't pay any fees, you don't pay any government filing fees because you are fleeing persecution. So the government wants to give you a break. And so if you are going to increase that, the fee for asylum applications, as they have currently proposed to increase the fee for asylum application to, I believe, about $550, then it impacts the budget. And so laws can be made using the budget reconciliation process. Okay. If they are doing a funding deportation program, like how to spend money, how they're going to give money to ICE or immigration enforcement to carry out deportation, all of these things can impact the budget, and so it can go through budget reconciliation, meaning laws can be made through the budget reconciliation process. And so the laws can be made easily so long as it will impact the US budget. Even if it affects immigration, the law can be made easily without concern for the filibuster. Again, filibuster means that people are voting to try to stop. I mean, the senators are arguing, for example, to try to stop a bill from being voted upon. But they cannot use reconciliation. Senate can, Congress cannot use reconciliation to create rights. So they can't use things to change or create rights. They cannot use it to make major policy changes, which is not tied to money. Okay, all right. So there are limitations on using the budget reconciliation process to make laws in the United States or in Congress. We obviously, some of us know about the bed rule. So for example, if you are trying to implement a law that will not result in changes to spending or revenue, then that can be stopped by the bed rule. If you guys remember, we did a live video in 2021. We did a few live videos on the budget reconciliation process. And we were very excited because we thought change was coming. There were proposals where at the time the Democratic House, the Democrats led the House, and they made proposals for immigration, and it included allowing undocumented immigrants who had been in the United States for a very long time to get work permits. Sometimes there would be unused visas, how to recapture those unused visas in immigration. There were some immigration changes that were going to be made. And they tried to use the budget reconciliation process to implement those immigration policies. But the Senate parliamentarian at the time stopped it according to the bed rule and said, look, these things that you are trying to do, they're just merely incidental to achieving budgetary goals. And so we will not allow it. And so you cannot implement these immigration related laws using the budget reconciliation program. It was a big blow. We were all very, very disappointed. So in short, the budget reconciliation process is a fast-track way to implement money-related laws. Okay, so if immigration touches money like fees, funding, costs, then it can be included. If it's about rights or status only, then it likely cannot be included in the budget reconciliation process. So now let's look at what's happening in 2025. Let's come to 2025. So earlier this year, the House of Representatives, they adopted Senate's budget resolution on a near party line vote. There was a 216 against 214. The House said that the Republicans, the House said that we could use the budget reconciliation process to implement certain laws. Okay, so in 2025, now the Congress, they can use budget reconciliation to push major immigration changes without needing 60 votes. Now they can just use 51 votes, meaning that the Republicans are in the lead. They are very excited that they can use 51 votes to just push major immigration changes. So here is what's in the 2025 reconciliation proposal as of May. As of May, they are proposing mass deportation funding. There are billions that have been set aside to remove up to 1 million undocumented immigrants a year. You guys are going to be allowed to ask your questions. You can drop them, and then when we're done, we can go into question and answer time. Drop all your immigration questions and we'll try to answer them. They are planning to hire more ICE personnel, ICE workers. I believe about 10,000 of them. I'm going to share a screen, my screen very soon. It's a document put together by the American Immigration Council, really good data of what's contained in the budget, 2025 budget reconciliation proposal. We'll share that, and you'll see how they are planning, the government is planning, or I should say Congress is planning to increase the fees, more like the Republicans, they're planning to increase fees, immigration fees, okay? So the House of Representatives, what they did was that they marked up 2 immigration-related proposals as part of the Congressional Reconciliation Package. And the package is affecting legal immigration, it's affecting detention, it's affecting arrests, immigration arrests, it's affecting immigration court, it's affecting children, processing immigrant children applications, border, judicial oversight. So now I think I should share my screen now. I believe this would be, I've given the background, so let's go here. So on April 29th, let me increase the size of my screen. Let me zoom in some more so you guys can see really good. I think this is fine now. Let's see here. Okay, so April 29, 2025, 2 committees, they introduced their recommendations. Okay, so the Homeland Security Committee, which is part of the House of Representatives, and the Judiciary Committee, they also advanced recommendations, and they are primarily focusing on changes within CBP, which is the agency that secures U.S. borders. If you're coming in on an international trip at the airport, the customs officials, the CBP, then the Federal Emergency Management Agency. There's also the Judiciary Committee, which made recommendations to focus on ICE. ICE has become very popular this year, and also the USCIS, the agency that adjudicates a lot of the applications, work permits, U.S. citizenship, green card applications, HHS, Health, Human Services, Department of State, then Department of Justice. And as part of their recommendations, they are recommending that there must be an increase to immigration and border enforcement funding. So about $150 billion, let's say $147 billion to back immigration and customs enforcement, immigration in the US, making sure that people who are here have legal status, people who have received final removal orders are deported and such. Okay. Now, the House Judiciary Bill, what they've also done is that they want to impose mandatory fees on a wide variety of humanitarian immigration protections, and that has caused a lot of concern, obviously, because when we talk about humanitarian applications, we are looking at people who are usually the vulnerable in society, people seeking asylum, people who have been abused, children who are abandoned, those types of applications, victims of crimes. Those are the humanitarian types of applications that they want to attach fees to. So if you look at this summary here, you can see that, let's just go over this really quickly. For legal immigration, they are increasing the fees. The proposal is to increase the fees. They're going to be voting upon all these recommendations by the end of May, or within the next few weeks. So these are just proposals. They are going to be looking at new fees for asylum application. So if you are an asylum applicant, then there's going to be $1,000 new application fee for you. You are going to have to pay $550 every month, every 6 months. I'm sorry, every 6 months. Every 6 months. So in a year, you'll pay about $1,100 for work permits, just to enable you to get permission from the US government to work as an asylum seeker. You'll pay that amount if this passes. And then you're going to also be paying $100 every year for a pending application. Every year that your case remains pending, $100. And cases are, asylum cases can sometimes take a minimum of 5 years, minimum 5 years. So every year your case is pending, you pay an additional $100. Every 6 months, you're paying $550 just to be able to work, to keep body and soul together. And so this could result in about $6,450 in filing fees within a 5-year wait period. And some asylum applications, some people, it can take even 10 years sometimes just to have their cases processed. Okay. Now, for immigration detention, the judiciary bill is providing up to about $45 billion. They want to build new immigration detention centers, including family detention centers. If you guys remember, about 2 months ago, they already said they were at full capacity. The ICE is at full capacity, about 47,000 beds, all full. They cannot contain more people, but they are continuing to arrest and detain more people. So they need detention centers. Okay. Now, when it comes to arrests, the judiciary bill directs $27 billion towards ICE enforcement and deportation operations. And they want to hire 10,000 additional ICE officers within the next 5 years. So they want to dramatically expand community arrest and expand cooperation with state and local enforcement agencies. This is known as the 287G agreement. Now, when it comes to immigration court, the judiciary bill is providing just $1.25 billion. If you guys look at the contrast, it's really staggering. When it comes to arrests, they want to push $27 billion for enforcement and deportation operations, but the immigration court, just a little bit of money, $1.25 billion. And so what it means is that there's just going to be a lot of backlog, and people are going to be held in detention facilities for a much longer time because there's more money being pumped in that respect. So if you have a case, you're going to be detained much longer. Okay, now when it comes to children, the judiciary bill charges families of unaccompanied children. So if you for children who come into the US, they don't have a parent or a guardian. If you are looking to sponsor such a child, then you are going to have to pay as a sponsor $8,500 just to be able to sponsor as a family, you are a family, you want to sponsor and a child who came into the US by themselves, their parents are not here, $8,500 to sponsor a child. Okay, so that's a lot of money that many families may not be able to necessarily afford. They're going to require children to pay $1,000 to apply for asylum and $500 to apply for special immigrant juvenile status. Special immigrant juvenile status is for children who have been abandoned, neglected, abused. Okay. And through that status, they are able to, you can apply if you are below the age of 21-year-old, or in some states, 18-year-old. You've been abandoned as a child. We apply to a family court and say that you are dependent on the family court. And once we get that approval, the predicate order from a family court, we can apply to USCIS to you for a green card based on your approval as a special immigrant juvenile. You can get a green card if you're a child, you've been abandoned, neglected, or abused. Okay, now for border security, the Homeland Security Bill is investing $51.6 billion into border wall construction. They want to build a wall. There's going to be judicial oversight. Now let's look at some of the top dollars they are going to be spending on immigration. So 51. So let's see here. Okay, let's see here. House Homeland Security Committee recommendations. There's a total immigration related spending, $66.6 billion that's going to be available over the course of the next 4 years, all the way through to September 2029. There's going to be $51.6 billion to build a border wall, $8.3 billion to CBP agents and vehicles, cars, transportation, $6.3 billion to border surveillance technology and vetting. So at the port of entry, they want to put cameras, they want to have surveillance, they want to have people there, they'll go through vetting, the people who are coming through the borders. They're going to put aside this money to work on those things. House Judiciary Committee recommendations. There's a total of $79.7 billion, and they are going to be using $45 billion for ICE detention capacity growth, then $14.4 billion for ICE transportation and removal operations, $8 billion for hiring new ICE personnel. As I mentioned, 10,000 new ICE members by 2029, plus $600 million for HR. Obviously, they'll need HR capacity, human resource people to hire these ICE agents. There is going to be a $3 billion funding for Office of Refugee Resettlement to operate shelters for unaccompanied children. Then $1.32 billion for OPLA, ICE's OPLA immigration prosecutors. They'll put that money down. $1.25 billion for immigration court system, that's EOIR, $950 million for compensating local governments for keeping undocumented immigrants who have criminal records. Okay, then there's a lot of money going into expedited removal of certain people with criminal records, $100 million. Now let's go to the fee increases on immigration benefits. Okay, so the Judiciary Committee is recommending a fee increase, and they're going to also create new fees for some immigration applications. Let's go here. So for asylum application, current fee $0. They are proposing a fee increase of $1,000. So new fees of $1,000. Pending asylum application fee, there's going to be $100 a year if this is accepted. Currently, there's no fee if you have a pending asylum case, but if this proposal is accepted, every year your case is pending, $100 to pay a year. Initial work permit for asylum applicants. Your first work permit application, $0 in government filing fees, but you're going to be paying $550 under the proposal. Then Renewal work permits currently $520. They're going to increase it to $550. Parole fee. Currently, if you are paroled into the US based on let's say an urgent humanitarian basis, you pay $0. You're going to be paying $1,000 for parole fee. Work permit fee for parolees, currently $520. It will go up to $550 if you are on TPS, temporary protected status. There's a $50 initial registration fee. Re-registration is $0. Now there's going to be a $500 fee for TPS. Work permits for TPS, it will go up to $550 from $520. Then the SIJS, these children, well, currently $0, and it's going to go up to $500 for if you're a child who is neglected, abandoned, abused by either one or both of your parents, as I already mentioned. Now, there's going to be a non-immigrant visa integrity fee. These are for Department of State applications, meaning U.S. embassies around the world. There's a proposed fee for $250. Okay, then this one, diversity visa registration fee. Currently, if you want to sign up for the visa lottery, you pay nothing. It's free to sign up. They are proposing a $250 fee. Okay, so that is going to impact a lot of people. The Judiciary Committee of the House of Representatives is the one proposing that if you just want to even register for the visa lottery, you pay $250. Currently, it's free. Then the diversity fee application, the diversity visa application fee, once you are selected for the diversity visa and you intend to apply for a visa, right? A green card through the visa lottery, you pay a $330 fee to Kentucky Consular Center. That $330 fee is going to go up to $400. Then there are fees for unaccompanied minors. Sponsor fee to sponsor is about $350 now. It will go up to $3,500. Then the sponsor in absentia fee for unaccompanied minors, it will go up from $0 to $5,000. There's going to be yes, that fee is reimbursable. So the initial fee to sponsor an unaccompanied minor child, they are proposing $3,500. Now, if you take in an unaccompanied minor child as a family, a U.S. family, you gotta pay $5,000. And if the child attends their immigration court hearings, then the government will reimburse you $5,000. So that $5,000 fee is reimbursable for sponsors, just so that they can ensure that their children, unaccompanied minor children, will attend their immigration court hearing. Okay. So CBP fee, inadmissible non-citizen apprehension fee. So this fee is for if you are inadmissible, you don't have proper documents, you don't have a visa to enter the US, and you are found at a port of entry or a border. Then you will, if you are caught between ports of entry, then you will be made to pay a $5,000 fee. The current fee is about a $50 to $250 civil penalty. Now, you are caught at a port of entry trying to sneak into the US without a visa, without a parole, without inspection, you will pay a $5,000 fee. They want to disincentivize people from crossing the border and entering the US without permission. So these are for immigration. Now let's look at immigration-related changes that could be coming. Motion to continue a hearing. Sometimes you go to immigration court and, somebody that they are representing themselves, they tell the immigration judge, I've been looking for an immigration lawyer. I still have not found representation. Can you continue my hearing? Meaning, I cannot do the hearing today. Can you reschedule it? So the judge will say, okay, you can come back in 6 months for your hearing. That's called a motion to continue, a continuance. If you go to the court and you ask the judge to adjourn or postpone your hearing, you're going to pay $100 fee if you request and you are granted a continuance by an immigration judge for each continuance. Green card application fee in immigration court, $1,400 currently. USCIS EOIR fee is $0. Now you're going to be paying, it's going to go up to $1,500. That's if you are in court and you are trying to adjust to a green card in court, in immigration court. Now, waiver of inadmissibility, the fee looks like it's being maintained. That's the fee for those whose application for waiver of grounds of inadmissibility. If you have a 601 waiver, for instance, a misrepresentation waiver or hardship waiver to waive misrepresentation, then you pay $1,050. That fee does not seem okay. So that fee currently you pay to USCI is $1,050. The proposed fee, it looks like you are going to be paying $1,050 fee as well to immigration court. Then the temporary protected status, initial $50 in court, you're going to be paying $500 to immigration court. Now, filing fee for appeal. So if you go to court and your case gets denied, currently you want to appeal the decision of the immigration judge, you pay $110 to file the appeal. It's going to go up to $900. If you're filing an appeal from an immigration, from a decision of any adjudication officer in a practitioner disciplinary case, then it goes up to $1,325 from $675. If you're filing a motion to reopen or reconsider your case, then it goes up from $145 to $900. So it's $145 for a motion to reopen with immigration court. With the BIA, you still pay the $110, but it's going to go up to $900 for both immigration court and the BIA. And then if you're filing a suspension of deportation application in immigration court, this is for a fee for any non-citizen who files an immigration court with the immigration court an application for suspension for deportation. You pay $100 plus a $30 biometric fee. Currently, it's going to go up to $600. LPR, cancellation of removal. That is if you've been in the US as a you're a green card holder and you are in immigration court, you want them to cancel your removal or deportation process. This is the fee for any non-citizen who files with an immigration court an application for cancellation of removal. If you're a green card holder, you've been sent to immigration court. Maybe you've applied for there's a reason why you've been sent to immigration court. They find that there's fraud. You engaged in some type of fraud to get your green card. If you go to court and you're asking for cancellation of removal because you're a green card holder and you've maintained residence in the US for about 7 years, you pay about $130 in government filing fees. It's going to go up to $600. Now, the non-LPR cancellation of removal, this is what people call the 10-year rule. If you're undocumented, you've lived in the US for 10 years and continuously you have good moral character, then you can apply for the government to cancel your deportation case if you can show extreme and unusual and exceptional hardship. You've lived here for 10 years, good moral character, among other requirements. So currently it's about $130. You're going to pay, the fee is going to go up to $1,500. If you are ordered removed in absentia, if you miss your hearing, you don't go to court. You have a court hearing, you don't go to court, and you are subsequently arrested by ICE, currently you pay $0, but it's going to go up to $5,000 if you are issued with a court date. Come to immigration court, let's say next week, and you don't show up. The judge will say, well, John Brown, you were supposed to show up today in court. You didn't show up. You are ordered removed, or you should be deported from the United States because you didn't show up. You will be charged $0 currently, but under the new proposal, if you are arrested by ICE, then there's a $5,000 bail. for you. Okay, so you guys have seen all the proposed changes that could be coming up soon. Okay, so please drop your questions and then let's move to what's going on now. Now, this is just a proposal. We are waiting for this to be voted upon. Okay, so the House of Representatives, they passed their budget resolution called H Con Res 14. They passed it on April 10, 2025 by a vote of 216 to 214. Now, this resolution sets the stage for the reconciliation process, and it will allow for the passage of the budget-related legislation with a simple majority. Okay, now the Senate, they passed their version of the budget resolution on April 5th, 2025, with a 51 to 48 vote. And the House, so both chambers, that's the House of Representatives and then the Senate, they must reconcile the different versions of the bill. That's why it's called reconciliation. They must finalize one bill. Everybody must come in, they must come into agreement, or majority of them must come into agreement. Then the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, will pass the reconciliation bill. He's hoping to do that before Memorial Day, which I believe is the end of May, but there's ongoing negotiations, internal disputes, and so this timeline may not be realized. Senate will need to reconcile its version of the bill with the House. Any changes will have to have approval from both Senate and the House that make up Congress to come up with what the final big, beautiful bill, as our President Trump likes to say, in one big, beautiful bill. We'll see what that comes up to. All right, guys, so drop your questions. Enough of the finance and all the, the budget reconciliation discussions. I know this is a very heavy discussion and topic, but I wanted to simplify it as much as possible. If you understood a little bit or a lot of it, drop USA in the chat section. Let me make sure that this did not pass over the heads of many people. I agree, it's a complex, discussion, very Senate and Congress, Senate and the House of Representatives, they have a lot of complex procedures. That's their job. So, okay, so we have a question on Instagram. Drop your questions, guys. We're here to answer them as best as we can. Okay, and don't forget to share the live feed. Keep dropping your USA emoji of US flag. If you're present with me, you can hear me, see me, and the discussion, you've understood the discussion. Please drop your comment and let's make sure. So Fact Only on Instagram says, my VAWA is pending. I-130 will be cancelled by June because I don't want to go ahead with the petition. And my OPT will expire in July. My question is, will I be put in removal proceedings? Well, if you guys remember that we discussed here on a live video on February 28th, 2025, the USCIS released a new policy memo on NTA issuance, notice to appear. A notice to appear is that document, the form I-862, that will summon you to immigration court to come and show cause why you should not be deported from the United States. So that NTA, they issued a new memo and said, now moving forward, you are going to receive a summon or an invitation to immigration court if any of these things happen to you. And among one of the new policies, they're saying that if you have a case pending with USCIS and you withdraw it or you abandon it or your case is denied and you happen to have unlawful presence or you are unlawfully here in the United States, then you will be sent straight to immigration court, no curve, no bend. The road that leads to immigration court, you will travel down that road and you'll find yourself in front of an immigration judge. But if you have a fallback status, so let's say you are here on an F1 visa and you have OPT, you're working on OPT, right? You're working in your field of study and you have something pending with USCIS, even if you withdraw it, because you still have OPT, you're still in status, then you will not be sent to immigration court. But once your status ends, your lawful status as a student ends, then you could likely be referred to immigration court for proceedings. So contact us and let's see how we can help you. Obviously, for people who are here in the US studying, they have 1 year of OPT, and some who are doing STEM courses, they have 2 more years of STEM OPT. So 3 years in all if you're doing a STEM course. Ajua says, please, I sent you email, WhatsApp messages, and even called, but no responses. Please, we have a lot of people calling, messaging us. Call us again, email us again, or text us again, and there'll be somebody to respond to you. Thank you for your patience as we work through all the backlog of calls and messages we receive. Okay. All right. Let's see if we have a question or a concern on Instagram. Okay, let's see. TikTok. I see some questions on TikTok. Let me just pick one of them. Today we have to hop off early. So Osei on TikTok says, planning of filing marriage-based green card. How much will it cost on attorney and other charges? Okay, contact us and let's see. So it's not a one size fits all. It depends, how did you enter the US? How long have you been here? Any criminal records? On the part of the petitioner filing for you, any criminal records on the part of the beneficiary. So, for example, if the petitioner has a criminal record, then sometimes it might lead to something called an Adam Walsh analysis, and that has a different fee. If the beneficiary has a criminal record, then it could lead to inadmissibility, and that has, so that has a filing a different fee, legal fee. So you want to contact us so we can see what's going on. Sometimes the beneficiary has been married maybe twice, they have divorce decrees, we have to review them, make sure it's valid. All those things can factor in. Do you have a joint sponsor? Is your petitioner making enough income or enough money to sponsor you? Sometimes we'll need a joint sponsor, a household wage member to add to the income. All these things, again, can impact what the fees come up to. Okay, so also call us and we'll review your case and then see how we can assist you. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in. You guys saw we posted today, we've moved. We're so excited about this major milestone. We actually moved in December, December 2024. We moved and we've just been very busy. You guys are all aware what's been happening in the US immigration, so we couldn't make the announcement formally. We've just been trying to give you guys back-to-back immigration information, just working through people who are detained, who have issues, and we couldn't formally announce it, and we are now formally announcing it. Google has refused to let us change our address. So the address you see on Google when you Google AK Poku Law is our old address. When you go there, people go there and they call us and they tell us, well, all the signage is still there for AK Poku Law. So we thought you guys are still there, but no, we moved from the old location. Make sure you call us if you're trying to visit us or come in for any, you need help with your case. You can do walk-ins, but you're not going to be able to see any attorney when you do a walk-in. It has to be by pre-appointment. But when you come in, you will see some people who are here to assist you. So you're free to walk in, and yeah, for sure you can make inquiries. Yunus Nuhu says, how long should one file taxes before he can sponsor his spouse to the United States? You should make sure you've been filing your taxes, but for at least 3 years, minimum 3 years. You should make sure you file your taxes. We'll just need your most recent tax returns, but USCIS on the forms will ask for the last 3 years of taxes that you paid, your federal taxes. Some people may not be required to pay their federal taxes. If you were not required to file taxes, then you need to be able to support or explain why, and you will be fine. Okay, guys, so we're so excited about this new milestone we've been enjoying for the last 4 or 5 months, but we're just announcing it to the world. So don't forget to like, share, celebrate with us. We're very excited. We've built this space. We've moved into this space, I want to say, because of you. showing you guys that we're committed to the work that we're doing, and we take your case very seriously. Yes, your case, your case, we take it very seriously. We are looking for a law firm that will ride or die with you. Then this is a place to come to. AK Poku Law. We're so excited. We handle cases in all 50 states, all around the world, US immigration cases. We're here for you. We have a lot of experience and we can assist you. We're very dedicated, we're serious, we are committed, and we want you to succeed. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon next week. This year we've been trying to come live every Friday at 1 p.m. Sometimes we may not be able to come on live if I have other commitments in immigration court or USCIS interview or asylum interview. But I'm sorry, just go on and tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. If we will not be able to show up, we'll do our best to let you know. If you have not followed our pages across social media, what are you waiting for? Just go hit AK Poku or follow us for all your US immigration information, news, and legal analysis. Thank you, guys. I wish you all a great weekend. And yes, follow our WhatsApp channel, US Immigration by AK Poku Law. We're on WhatsApp. Follow the WhatsApp channel. Follow us across social media. And you will love it. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye, Instagram. Bye-bye.